Well, hello, boys and girls. I'm bringing you breaking news here from the reselling newsroom. And now the light is coming in the window and ruining. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Reseller News. How are we all this morning? I hope we don't have any guests from Kansas. I believe there's quite the tornado happening over there. Can't remember the name of the place. Bakers? Was it Bakersfield? Maybe? I don't know. I was watching something on YouTube earlier this morning, watching them chase down the tornado for a few minutes. Didn't actually manage to catch them. I didn't manage to see them catch it, but it looked pretty nasty from a distance. So yeah, Tornado Alley. Ooh, I wouldn't want to live there. That is for sure. Good morning, Mary Jo. Good to see you in. Hope Arkansas is all very well and clear of tornadoes. Hello all, finishing up my errands, so watch live. Lovely. And then we have Junk in the Trunk. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Rach. Good to have you with us this morning. Well, news today. The big news I want to... Kafan's popped in. Good thing I've got two phones. Tori is still live. I hope he's not still, banging on about the variation listings. My word. Yes, we have to perhaps, work with Tori a little bit to see if he can, because, some of us have set times for our lives, so he could perhaps work around us a little bit so it doesn't, oh, my roller's crooked, so it doesn't sort of clash. Would be easier, wouldn't it? Yeah, so the big thing I want to talk about today is over here, over there, Australia Post. So I had word, for anyone in Australia, I had word during the week, because I raised the point that my purchases of my bubble mailers were not contributing towards my band savings. And apparently, bubble mailers do not count towards your band savings. Now, some of the staff at the Australia Post premises where you go in and buy stuff will tell you that anything that you purchase that you scan with your QR code does go toward your band savings, but that's not actually true. And if you go into Australia Post's, I'll see if I can bring it up actually, if I've got it still. Let me just check that I've got it still in here, and then I can share it. Just bear with me. Yeah, because what's happening is they are classifying a bubble mailer as different. Yeah, here it is. I'll just bring this up. Just bear with me. I'll just share my screen. I should have had this organised beforehand, but sometimes it takes me a little while to get my makeup organised. Right. I'll just blow this up a little bit for you. And scroll down and across. Right. Now, as you can see here, this is the list of packaging that counts under Australia Post towards your savings. And what it says here is unpaid postage satchels and express post branded boxes, in-store purchases only. Now, the interesting thing is here that satchels are the vinyl satchels only. They class the bubble mailers as mailers, bubble mailers. They're not the same as the vinyl satchels. And you'll also note that when it comes to the boxes, which really did surprise me, they don't count either. It's only the express post boxes. And, and I kind of, queried a bit. And then I looked at the top and I thought, but it says My Post Business flat rate satchels and boxes postage, but that is only for the postage that you pay, that you put on them, not the actual items themselves. So just be aware of that. I kind of feel like Australia Post is doing themselves a little bit of a disservice. Good morning, Hilly. A little bit of a disservice in doing this because they used to count. Mine counted last year. Now, to my mind, that was a good way of encouraging me to buy the Australia Post branded items. Now, I have to consider, especially for some of my smaller books, like, something like this, which is quite small. By the time I put that in some protective packaging, right, I still wouldn't send that in a envelope, like in a letter envelope, because I personally, that's not what I do. But, I have to consider, do I then, because these would be even packaged up, they'll still be under 500 grams. So I could get a generic mailer and post that as my own packaging, and it weighs under 500 grams. So it's still going to cost me the same as what a small bubble mailer would cost. So that's number one. And then if I've got some bigger books that are narrow enough, like, for example, this one, which actually is a really nice, got some really lovely artwork on it, I have to say. Some of you might have gathered that I love book artwork. So yeah, this one, like, this is quite thick, but it's narrow, right? So it's not very wide. And the trouble with the vinyl satchel is they are slightly narrower than the bubble mailers. But I could still either buy a generic mailer and put it inside the vinyl satchel, or wrap that in bubble wrap and put the cardboard around it, put some bubble wrap around it, and then put that in the vinyl satchel and do it that way. So it's really stopping people from buying, as Kathan says, it's a great way to get people to buy generic mailers. So I think they're actually doing themselves a disservice. Australia Post, if you're watching, yes, you. I'm talking to you, Australia Post. I did ask the chap that I spoke to on the phone, because they did confirm it via email and then confirmed it again via phone call. They did confirm that that the bubble mailers weren't counting. I then asked him, why is that? Why aren't the bubble mailers counted? And he said, I really don't know. So, yeah, there's the answer to that. Good morning, Christian. How are you this morning? Got to switch between you and Geelong Flipper, both live. Wow, yes. I'll have to have a chat with Tori and sort of explain to him how, some of us have set live shows every week because usually we try and work around each other's live shows. Because if we have a set time, for those of us that do have set times, we'd sort of generally try and work around that. So, yeah. So that's the bubble wrap. Now, the other interesting thing is that in the Australia Post information, the one thing that was of a little bit of a concern, I'm waiting for clarification on that, is that once you hit the overall band, so if you're on band 4, for example, if you spend up to $10,000, then even if you spend less that particular week, you're still under the thing. That should be relevant for the financial year. So I'm just waiting for a confirmation on that, because it doesn't actually say that in their information anymore. Kathan, you're going to have to have a chat to Tori, Breaking Bad style. Stay out of my territory. Exactly. Yes. I was here first, Tori. My word. Yes, I will. My word. And I mean, he started his live a lot earlier too. He's been going for quite a while this morning. What time did he start? I mean, I did see it pop up on my TV when I turned it on earlier. So, yeah, don't know. But anyway, so that was my big news story. And the tornadoes in Kansas, which is, that would be a terrible place to live. I wouldn't cope with that at all. So what news has everybody else got for me? How's everybody's sales going? Recommerce Dave, morning Gigi and everyone. Just noticed that the tracked envelopes now don't count to the bandwidth saving. Yes, exactly. Just in June, in June when I did a big order, exactly. And that's when they changed it. And I know Bax, he was one that he had placed a huge order at the end of the financial year for those before the price increase. And then when they said that they weren't going to, after that, they weren't going to contribute towards the band savings. And, they actually got him in for a meeting about feedback about Australia Post. And he did express this to them because he had spent a lot of money on those. So it seems to me they've taken the popular products that people buy that do count towards our bandwidth, as in bubble mailers and the tracked envelopes. They seem to have removed those from adding to the bandwidth. So it just, it doesn't quite make sense, does it? Kafen, it was on when I woke up at 9:30. Okay, so it's been going for over an hour. So get off, Tori. Someone tell him that Gigi said he has to get off. It's my turn now. Disgruntled octopus. I'm washing my hair. Mm-hmm. Okay. Where do you have hair? No, I'm not. Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't want to know where you have hair. Thank you. I was about to ask that, but I don't want to know. Junk in the trunk. My sales are in the crapper. Yeah, they're quite low, aren't they? What I'm actually finding is that I'm having there'll be a particular day where I have a huge spike, and then for the rest of the day, then it goes right down, and then maybe a little bit above that, and a little bit, it's all over the place. But that being said, and I did mention this last night in the Discord chat, that I feel like we've been here before, actually. And to me, like I kind of feel this is reminiscent to me of about April last year, when everything went in the crapper then. But we got through it, and that's where I think we just have to keep going. Rachel said, I had 3 things to sell on Depop last night, 2 to the same buyer. Oh, personal best for me. Well done, Rachel. Yay. Yeah, like I was chatting to Rachel when she received the offer from someone and she accepted it. We were all laughing, saying highly likely, as usual on Depop, they won't pay for it, but they did, which was great. Junk in the trunk. That's right. When you have a spike, then you have no sales the next day. Yeah. And what I also am finding, and I don't know about anybody else that's doing international, I'm finding that it feels to me like they're only releasing my views, like my items to be looked at internationally on 1 or 2 days a week, because I used to get international sales every day, but it seems to me at the moment like I get nothing for days on end, and then all of a sudden I'll get a couple of international sales on the one day. I've actually had a international sale this morning to Great Britain for I think it's Son of Falconhurst, and it's part of the Falconhurst series, and the book sold for, anyway, they're into it for about $120 by the time they pay post, so that's good. It's a vintage pan book, so that's good. Depop seems to spike too. Yeah, Depop does. Yep. Octo says, I'm like ADH Dave on Depop. I'm the worst seller and only person that hasn't been banned on Depop. Well, I haven't been banned on Depop, which is good. I did have a couple of things, though. Like, I've got a particular pair of things there. I think they're is it Stone Island? Or something like that? Or, yeah, I can't remember the brand. But it's a top brand, and I picked it up in an op shop 12 months ago. But it's not coming up as being real, even though everything about it looks real. So I don't know whether it is or not. So I wasn't going to put it on eBay, but I kind of have considered putting on Depop, but now I don't know. Unwanted but needed. Good morning. Last 4 weeks I had good weekends and Mondays being good, but Tuesday dies in the arse. Yeah. That's a bit sad, isn't it? But, there's also been a lot of people talking to me that have been saying that, if their weekends used to be their top selling time, and then they would have lower sales during the week, but that seems to be reversed now for them. Like, they're not getting the sales that they used to get on the weekend, but maybe their sales during the week are a little, okay. Kathan, I'm having international week after 2 weeks of no international sales. Yeah, exactly. John Roberts, good morning. It is the king of, what are you up to now with your denim? Have you checked lately if you're under number 90? Last known. Sorry he was late. He was trying to cut his own hair. You're trying to spruce yourself up ready for your coffee morning tomorrow. Is that what you're up to? So John is our resident king of what we call Nana, P-O-R-N, which is commonly known as Mills and Boon books. We call it Nana, P-O-R-N. I can't say that word because YouTube won't like it. So, yeah, I'm just going to spell it. I did learn a new law tubing word last night. And so, we've talked about when they talk about GUNs and, using those to unalive people, they pew them, or it's called a pew. So, but I did learn a new one last night, and that is stabulating. So instead of someone being, they stabulating them or stabulate them. So that was a very clever one, I thought. Rach says, don't forget to like this video. Yes, please. That would be great. That would be good. Octo, community announcement. I'm not sure if it's real or not. Don't list it on eBay or Depop. Or hang on, wait for it. What's it got? I've had about 4 people in the last week reach out to me on Instagram saying they had been banned on Depop for bootleg or fake. Yeah, it seems to be the go, doesn't it? And that's what I was saying, these Island Stone, is it Island Stone? It's a really, really, really expensive brand. Like if these are real, they're worth about $160 and they're new with tags. So I'm not quite sure what to do with them, but there's quite a few people that they seem to be, I don't know, is the algorithm running rampant or running wild and it's out of control and it's just picking up? Because most Stone Island, that's it, Rachel. Yep, that's it. That is the brand. Because there's a few people been saying about the fake being picked up. So, but the things that they're picking it up on aren't actually fake. So, I don't know. What is it that's causing them to think that those items are fake? And I wonder if if Depop just allows their algorithm to pick it up and then they just ban them, or at least are they doing? You would hope that they're doing a human review. Maybe I'll look into that during the week and hopefully come back with some information next week. Because realistically, at least on eBay, you get some warnings. A few times, like they'll delist your product and give you a warning, but they won't ban you straight away, especially if it's your first time. Rachel says that Stone Island is heavily faked in Europe. Okay, well, good to know. They probably are fake then. Bugger. I mean, look, they cost me $3, but I was really excited when I found them and I comped them. I thought, wow. Oh, Blake has been banned again. Probably seen what he was eating. Yes. I must admit, his photography of his carnivore diet isn't all that appetizing. There are ways to make that sort of food look pretty. Maybe he needs to put some flowers on the plate or something. Add a bit of colour. Because the trouble with the carnivore diet, as I've found, is that the colours are all very neutral, very yellow and beige. And yeah, not great. Recommerce Dave, I feel that listings viewability are cycled through different states. Agreed. Absolutely 100%. I seem to get sales to 1 or 2 states and then it switches to another 2 states. Absolutely. I will have periods where I'm sending heaps of stuff to Western Australia, and then, a few days later, then all of a sudden I'm sending a heap of stuff to Queensland. Absolutely agree. I never seem to get stuff where I'm sending it in Victoria very often, I will have to say. Well, Dave, we refer to it as server A and B, says Octo. Well, I have talked about it before, and I can remember, and I should dig it out because it will be in there back in the podcast or the live streams earlier on. I raised this issue with His Highness there on the screen and some other people, and I talked about being in buckets, that we were all in individual buckets, and that this bucket was put under the tap, or these buckets were put under that tap, and the tap was turned on, and then we were taken down, and then the next lot of buckets were put under there. And I seem to remember His Highness disagreeing with me and poo-pooing me. And now I think everybody's got to agree that that's happening. Rachel said, I had it happen to me. I had a T-shirt I knew wasn't fake as my daughter bought it when she had more money than sense. Yeah. Okay. And so how did you go? Was it very, very hard to get unbanned? Like, how's their process for that? I mean, the fact, I guess, that Blake has been banned so many times and then they've allowed him back on. But you would quite obviously, to me, it seems to me that they mustn't be doing a human review before they ban people. Kathan says, I need vegetables in my life. No Ron Swanson diet for me. Yeah. I think we all need that, a little bit of colour in our lives, don't we? Yeah. I wanted but needed. Yep, I had the same. A lot going to New South Wales last week, and this week I've got a lot going to WA. Yep. Buckets it is. Buckets it is. Junk in the trunk. Yep, I also noticed sales all from the sale bin skew. What a coincidence. Yes, that's the other thing. I will have clusters where, and I'm noticing it with the traffic, right? So if I'm scanning through looking at what's getting views and what's not, because I'll tend to end and sell similar to stuff that's got no views. If I've got something that's got 7 views or 13 views, I will leave that sit for a bit longer, and I'll end and sell similar on the things that have got 0 views. But what I'm actually seeing is that when I'm going down, there'll be a whole bunch that I've listed at the same time that are actually getting views. They're all, yep, stuff that I listed from the same, yep, exactly. And then there'll be a whole page of no views. Disgruntled octopus. I was just too infatuated with my reflection on camera. Yes. You just wanted to argue with me, I think. That was more the point. Rachel, I didn't bother trying, to be honest, as I didn't have any proof. I still have the T-shirt. Bugger. So, but you were able to get back, or was that selling on Depop in the UK, and then you were able to get an account in Australia? Is that how you managed to get back on, or is it just overall? That's what I'm a bit more curious. How hard is it to get Depop to reverse their decision? I guess I'm asking. Unwanted but needed. And I'm selling a lot of my old listings also. Yes. Look, the ending selling similar has done wonders to get rid of some of my old inventory, I have to say. That being said, there is still some stuff that I'm giving it till, I'm probably giving it until the start of the new year. There's a few things there because some of it hasn't sold during winter, which hasn't surprised me because it's spring and summer clothing. But stuff that I've had listed for a couple of years that hasn't sold after summer, I'm probably going to ditch it. But I'll have a sale or something first. I might even try some auctions or something. Isn't that weird? It is weird. It is weird, but there are patterns. There are patterns. Well, and I guess that makes sense when you're talking that the system is run by an algorithm. I guess it's got to have patterns. That's how it works out what it's doing. So I guess it kind of makes sense that there are patterns. But yeah, it's funny that they're so obvious. Rach said, it is listed on eBay, so hopefully it will sell on there. Yes, let's hope. Fingers crossed for you, Rach. Octo says, did you flee the UK to bypass the ban? Rach says, no, that was recently here. I just got a slap on the wrist. I wasn't banned. Oh, you were lucky. You were lucky. Octo, yes, running from the feds. Oh, dear. And you're not ending items. Interesting. Wow, that is interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Very interesting. So I'm having a little bit of a variation listing dilemma right now. So I've at the moment, and when I started, I had using my variation listings, which I love, which everyone knows. I would have them all set on. Look, they're all low value books, right? They're not high value stuff. Or even if there are some slightly higher value items in the variation listing, there are also lower value items in there. So in each variation listing, and I've got them on a buy two get one free thing, and I sort of re-looked at it. Octo was the what sort of pointed out to me I was leaving a lot of money profit on the table by not, instead of doing that, I should be doing a discount, like a volume discount, where if you buy 2, you get 10% off. If you buy 3, you get 15% off. If you buy 4, you get 20% off, right? So that is my other option, which I've got it all set up, and I've got a few things in also doing it that. Now, the things I'm considering at the moment are I really like the way, oh, the sun's come out a little bit. It's coming through the window. I really like the way when you do the buy two, get one free thing, it actually comes up as a sale. So if someone goes into my store and clicks on the sale tab, they're in there. So they can just click on that and they can see all the books, all the listings that are under that offer, buy two, get one free, right? It also means I can put a link in each of my listings that you can click here and you can see all the other books. So if you only want to choose one out of this listing, but want to still get that buy two, get one free deal, you can click this link and it'll just take you to the page. So all the things are grouped together. When you do the volume discount thing, that doesn't happen. So that's one thing. The next thing is, well, it will take me a long time to transfer them all over. It's not like I'm going to be able to do them all at once because, number one, all of my variation listings have a big sticker on them at the front, on the front photo, that say buy two, get one free. So I would have to change that over. That picture has to be changed for each one. And also what I've got written in the description has to be changed. That will be easy enough because I can just do a replace text in a bulk edit, right? I can do that part easily enough, but it's more the changing the photos over and I have to redo that. So that's one issue. That's the second issue. So it'll take me a little while to do it. Then my third issue is it's going to be 23 degrees here today. It's a bit warm, and now I can hear a fly buzzing around. My next issue is I'm actually selling heaps of books on the variation listings, and each day when I think, oh, I'll go and put a couple more books over into the volume discount, I'll take them out of the buy two, get one free, and, I sell 2 or 3 lots off the variation listings, and then I think, oh, I don't want to do that. Yes, I don't know. Maybe I should change it to buy 3, get 1 free. Maybe. Don't know. Junk in the Trunk says, yes, Gigi, that's a lot of work for the variation listing. You don't want to give things away. I know. I mean, I do want to give things away. In a sense, I do want to give things away in the sense that the majority of the books that I'm putting into these listings are books that have been in my death pile. I got a big, one of the local op shops closed down, and it got to the point, I did buy a lot of books off them before they closed, but then when they were closing, the week they were closing and packing everything up, the lady said to me when I was going in to get another load of books to buy, and I mean, I was paying like 5 cents and 10 cents for the books that I was buying, but she said to me, all the books aren't going to be gone and I'm going to have to throw them all out. Do you want to just take them all? And so I did. And so heaps of them. And look, some of them aren't great. They're not in the most fantastic condition. They're older, sort of, there's been some good books in there, let me tell you. I found some good bangers in there. Some really good value books in there. But the bulk of them, they're not overly expensive books. So my thought was, instead of me having to bundle everything and then have someone say, I only want book 1 and 3. Can you take them out of the bundle? The variation listing works really well for that. So, yeah. And a lot of people only buy the 2 books. They don't take the 3rd book for free. That happens a lot. Octo says you're old. You have nothing better to do with your existence. That is not true. There's always, I could be spending that time listing more things, making more variation listings. Because I've got well over 200 variation listings at this. Well, I must be getting close to 250 now, I guess. Haven't had a look for a little while. I just keep doing new ones every day. So I'm inclined to. I was waiting originally until I had, maybe 10 books to put in a variation listing. I don't do that now. I just make the listing because each box I open, I'm coming across more books by particular authors. So I will do a variation listing even if I've only got 2 or 3 books, because then when I find another book from that author, it's just easy to add in. Simple. Rachel says, why don't you keep the ones you have listed as they are and then any of the ones you list from now on, change them. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thought. I mean, I could do that. I have got some in there, like I put my graveyard school ones because I don't want to put them in the buy two, get one free because some of those are quite expensive. And I also put my bone chillers for the same reason. And there's a couple of others I've put in there already. So I guess that's a good idea, Rachel. So maybe I'll do that. The ones going forward, I'll put into the new way, and then I'll be able to compare what ones are selling better. Because if by doing the volume discount, they're not selling as quickly and as frequently as I'm selling them using the buy two, get one free go, then I have to rethink that, don't I? Oh, it's just such a dilemma. So what else has been happening? Junk in the trunk says, yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think Rachel's right. I think that's what I'll do. The ones going forward, I'll put into the new way of doing it, and that'll give me a comparison then. And we'll see how the other ones keep going because, yeah. And like there's been particular ones. So, for example, Young Indiana Jones books, the little adventure books. I sold the last of those yesterday. Like they've completely sold it. And these are books. Look, I've got a lot of the young adult fiction books that I was saving. So I have shelves in my spare room where I had them all set up. They were actually the side rails off an old wooden bed, and I put them up as shelves. And I was using those so that I could stand the books up so I could sort them into their groups, right? So what I was aiming to do was get sets that I could sell the sets. You never get the set. Oh, those Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. I've had those for, I'm going to say, it must be, it must be nearly, I'm going to say 12 months. I had all of them except one book. And do you think I can find that book? And it wasn't financially viable. I could buy it and add it to make the set. But the set, in that time, what the set was selling for when I decided I needed to get that one, then now the price on that set has dropped dramatically, that it's not worth me buying it because I might be able to buy the book for $4, but then I've got to pay $10 postage to get it here. So it's not actually financially viable for me to do that, to add it to the set, to sell it as a bulk deal, right? So I had all of those sitting there. So that's the beauty of the variation listing, is that I've been able to list those books finally, and let people pick their own. And I've been surprised with some of them, like some of the ones that didn't comp very well that I thought probably wouldn't sell, like was it Dogman? I think was one of them, Dave Pilkey books. They sold quickly, which was surprising. Junk in the trunk. I know, they never sell. I know. Yeah. How many times I've done a bundle up and then someone said, I only want book blah 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 out of this, And they never want to get, like, if you've done a bundle of 5, they never want to take like 3. They only want 2. Like, it's not worth it to pull the bundle apart. And especially the time it takes to make the bundle, list the bundle, then you have to unlist the bundle, and then you've got the books that are left. What do you do with those? So I like the variation listings from that. And then also, the thing I like is, like, so someone yesterday that bought the last of the 2 Indiana Jones books, they also bought one of the Usborne Young Reader books. So they can go from one listing to a different listing to choose their 3 books. And I really like that. So, it gives them a little bit of scope because there are so many books in there now. So I really like that about doing it that way to get that free book. They got theirs that way. So yeah, there's been so many of those young adult fiction things that I was saving to get the set, and never ever, got the whole set. So a lot of those. I'm listing a lot of those. Clive Cussler's done extremely well. I'm finding his stuff is going. I would definitely pick his books up if I could get them at a cheap enough price. I would definitely pick his paperback books up to add more to that variation listing, because every time I add some more to it, they seem to sell in a reasonable time. I've got some more of those to post today. So he's an author I definitely look out for. Good morning, Graham. How are you this morning? Who else can I suggest? There's quite a few. Yeah, there's been some of those authors that, or book runs that I thought may not sell. Wendy Harmer's books, the Pearly Fairy books, they are like hotcakes. I've I sold sort of all of them, and then I only had one left, and then I got some more, and I added those in, and now again I've sold all of them. I think I might have two left out of the second lot, but they sell like hotcakes. Don't know why. But if you've got those books, the Pearly books, particularly now, there's one of those, Pearly Goes to Rio. And if I come across that one again and listing that one, I will put the price up a bit higher because that one just flew off the shelf. It's obviously a very popular book. Babysitters Club, of course, that sells. I've got a couple of listings up for my section of Babysitter's Little Sister. They don't seem to be moving as well. Gigi's Live Book Club. Yep. What else do you want to talk about? You tell me. We can talk about anything. I'll talk about shirts if you like. Would you like me to talk about shirts? They're pretty boring. So good brand. I'll give you this one. I shouldn't give it away. Bax. So Bax picked up yesterday a couple of shirts, vintage Australian made shirts, up in his territory, up near Orange in New South Wales. And it's an Australian brand called Callan, and it's Callan, I think, or is it An? An, I think. And one of the shirts, I said, "Oh, that brand sounds familiar." And then he put some photos up in the chat, and blow me down, one of them was identical to a shirt that I had and sold. So yeah, that's a brand to look out for. Some of their shirts are very way out. They're very real vintage looking. Rach says books to GG is the same as I can't say that word on my live stream. Skylanders to Octo, yeah. Yes, he can't. I think he does it to bait me though. I think he actually talks about Skylanders more just to bait me. What do you reckon? I reckon. So after the live stream we did yesterday, so those of you that actually saw the live yesterday or have rewatched it since, what did you think of me doing the store review? Or it wasn't so much the store review, although I'm happy to help anyone with that. It was more a listing review to help with the listings. So improve her listings, because look, I'm not the world's greatest expert, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, but as she was scrolling down, when we first looked at her store, as she was scrolling down, I was just seeing photos and titles that I knew could be improved. And I'm not saying those items are going to fly off the shelf, but it should help them sell. And maybe that'll get, if after they're still there after, another 6 months, well, maybe then she has to redonate them. Especially, I don't know what she's put into. Well, she's got to put international shipping, we've told her, on that fishing, the fishing coat. Graham says, and Gigi takes the bait. Indeed, I do. Indeed, I do. Patience of a saint I have. Mm-hmm. Rach says, yep. Dave, it was good. Always open his constructive comments. Yeah. And that was the best part. I found it was really good doing it as a live rather than as a pre-recorded. I wouldn't do it as a pre-recorded because you can't have that interaction with the chat and people in the chat putting in their suggestions too. As as blunt as some of them were, Rachel. Is that right? Someone called you blunt? Oh, we know Lee pretty well, so we can be blunt with her. And look, she was very gracious in offering to let me have a look at the store and to come on live with me and let me do that. So I'm putting it out there. She was a good sport. Kaven says I liked it. I feel like I was watching myself interact with Gigi. Well, you can do. Feel free. Rach says, Lee was a great sport to do it. She needs to detach herself from her listings. Yeah. I really feel that is her biggest problem. Apart from the fact that some of those listings could be improved, her biggest problem is that she is so emotionally invested in those listings. She's invested in the item because she thinks it's so cool. Oh, this is just so cool. And then she wants to put cool in the title. No one's going to search for cool in the title, Lee. Sorry. And then she's also emotionally invested in the amount of time it's taken her to create the perfect listing. So overall, she's so invested in those items that she just doesn't want to let them go. And yeah, she needs to. She needs to. Yeah, the jacket. That jacket. Graham, damn, I missed a life. You know me, my spicy comments. Yes, we had spicy comments even without you, Graham, yesterday. So yeah, a lot of fun. But look, if there is anyone else out there that is brave enough and willing to do it, willing to have a go. Now, the other option is that someone came up with, and I'm not sure whether he wants me to admit that it was his idea. But someone else suggested to me that I could do a series of shorter shows if there are enough people that want to do it that would be willing to send me or give me the link to one listing that needs help. And I could do a review of that one listing. I mean, what do you think about that? That's another option. So yeah, but you have to be willing to accept the criticism, I guess. Of pulling it to pieces. But yeah, that's just another thought. Caven says, I did learn a few things about keywords too. Whether my brain retains the information or not is is to be seen. Yeah, exactly. Look, keywords are so important, and I know. So, for example, with those ones of Lee's, like she was saying, why are the numbers suddenly dropping off? Because we're talking about keywords. Ooh, quite a few people have stopped watching. Has someone else gone live? Has Tori gone live again? The numbers of viewers just skyrocketed. So, when we talked about looking at Lee's listings, like she was wanting to put things like cool in her title because she thought the item was cool, right? In your title, what you're looking for is to put in words that people are going to search for. No one's going to search for a cool hunting jacket. Not going to happen. So putting cool in there is not going to work. You need to put in words. And I mean, I've even got a big lesson to learn with keywords that it is something that I'm really getting into, that I've been so invested in putting into my book listings, if it's a first edition, for example, in putting first edition spelt full, hardcover. The only thing I've abbreviated has been DJ for dust jacket. So I've been so invested in doing all that right because I'm the books and they've got to be put in there right. But it's, I'm now re-looking at those listings. Can I take those out and just put first ED, HC, DJ, and then put some other cool words in there, cool keywords in there that will help better match people's searches. Graham says, maybe Maddie the Aussie Flipper might want you doing a live on his store. Well, maybe he would. Maybe I should reach out to him and see. Recommends Dave, she is doing the listings as what would attract her attention. Exactly. Needs to consider what the target market research would search. Exactly. And, the terms for her, because in her main store, she's selling music and books, mainly music. So there are terms that you would put in there that aren't applicable to clothing. That's the other thing. Yeah, Caven's laughing at Graham's suggestion. Reseller Rowboat, hello. Good morning, I suppose. It's good evening in your territory, but morning here. Although it's getting closer and closer to midday. Managed to kill 45 minutes almost with just... Yeah, actually, really. I mean, I did bring you some news at the start, but I really did. Look, yeah. Having the live yesterday kind of put my routine out of whack a little bit. So I didn't get my research done, which I, had been doing to bring up some actual articles and stuff, but that's okay, I say. So, yeah, so if there is anyone out there that would be willing to either A, come on a live show with me and we do what like we did with Lee. And by the way, there will be at least part 2. We may, not sure, because Lee does work. We may do that in the evening, perhaps. I'm not sure yet. So there will be a part 2 of that. So that we've got that to look forward to first before I make any decisions. But yeah, if there is anybody that would like a particular, well, maybe you want how your storefront looks reviewed, or maybe you want a particular listing reviewed, that's something that hasn't sold and you don't know why, let me know and I will do a review of it happily. Octo, have you got any listings that you want me to review in your store? Caven says, Lee has balls of steel putting her hand up for a store race. She is. She's a good stick. She is a good stick. She has got, it was very brave of her, especially to come on live. Like coming on live in any sense is very daunting. I know what it was like for me the first time I did it. And so that's a big thing in itself, let alone popping your store up. But I guess being in the Discord, so anyone that hasn't joined Grumpy Granny's Discord group, link is on my channel page. Go and do it because we get in the room there and we chat all the time about all different sorts of stuff. Some of it's not reselling related, but sometimes it is and you learn stuff. But I guess because we're in there chatting about different things all the time, and because she has shown us stuff in the Discord, call room, it made it a bit easier because it kind of felt like she'd broken the ice, I guess. Rachel's 100%, yeah, props to Lee. On you, G Lee. And you know what? I call her, we call her Lee, but the fact of the matter is her name is actually Leanne. Does that say something? Could we have a new show called The Two Leannes? We need something. Someone come up with a catchy something Leanne's. It's not really one of those names that, would make a great title for attractive thing, would it, Leanne? Caven said, I've had people stalk me online before, so not keen to share my store. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Yeah. Reseller Rowboat, got to go. We'll watch on replay. Paddle on. We will. Thank you very much for calling in. Oh, yeah, well, Caven said I'd watch Lee and Lee. Yeah, I'd have to actually... no one calls me... The only person, I've got one person that calls me Lee, and that's one of my best friends, and she gets away with calling me Lily. Not actually even Lee. I've always said, no, my name's Leanne. I've never let anyone call me Lee. I'd have to think about that one, Caven. That might hurt my brain. Aaron, legless Leanne's. Yeah, well, I've been known to be a little bit legless at times. Mm-hmm. I've got a bit of a thing at the moment. I've swapped over from my Captain Morgan that I was drinking. I mean, I was always a Canadian Club was always what I drank, and then I got hooked a little bit on the Captain Morgan, with a little bit of spiced rum in there. But I must say, there was one day when I went into my local supermarket and there was no Captain Morgan. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to drink? And so I brought home a bottle of Fireball. And it was actually while I was sick too, and I thought, oh, maybe all that extra cinnamon will help me recover. And I've actually decided that I actually really like that. It's got a nice bit of a spice to it. And I did so 2 bottles ago, I did buy another bottle of Captain Morgan, but then I thought, no, I think I do like the Fireball. And I don't know, because they're only 700ml bottles, so I need to see if I can get them in a bigger bottle. Graham's laughing. Legless Leanne's, yeah. GG in the Lee Majors. Oh, look, listen to that. Now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? Yes, $1 million women. Yes, $1 million women. What a title. Yes, subtitle GG in the Lee Majors. Now we're talking. Nice one, Hilly. I'm liking that. That's looking pretty good to me. Liking that very much. So one of the latest, I've noticed, been looking around, doing a bit of research on YouTube on, for nefarious purposes, actually, on YouTube. And one of the things I've been noticed popping up a lot, there are a lot of channels popping up and they're doing videos, like the older people like myself, and the channels are popping up and they're saying, or the channel says, over 40 and making it on YouTube, or it's someone that's making videos and it's like, how to be successful on YouTube if you're over 40. And then there's another lot doing it that are saying if you're over 50, and then there's another lot if you're doing it that are saying they're over 60. And I find that amazing. Like, what is this thing about having all these old people on YouTube? I don't know. So maybe I should do a thing about make a video that might be a hit, actually. Maybe there's a lot of people looking for that sort of content. Maybe Grumpy Granny should talk about how to start your own channel when you're over 60. Hey, put your hair rollers in, bit of bright lippy, and off you go. Oh, and you've got to have a pretty shirt, of course, a pretty blouse. Aussie Nurse Flipper Graham says, I'm a teetotaler going on 2 years. Congratulations. Excellent. That is amazing. Well done. Well done. Dave says, Recommerce Dave says, just the algorithm. Just the algorithm. Is that for the $1 million, the $1 million ladies, or is that for my fireball? Rach says, get on OnlyFans. Might as well make some money out of it. Oh, you're a funny lady, aren't you? That is funny. Hysterical. Yeah. Gigi's OnlyFans. Wouldn't that be funny? That would be funny. My daughter keeps telling me I need to get on TikTok. Octo says TikTok's good. I don't know. I mean, if I could make I don't know, because I actually haven't even gone on TikTok other than people sending me a few TikToks that I have looked at. I haven't even been on there to see what sort of stuff people post. Are there people talking, or is it just people making like, a video with a bit of music in the background or something? I don't know. So if I could make little reels, like the sort of stuff that I perhaps put up on Instagram, and then I could also upload that to TikTok, well, I might do that. Maybe I should. Maybe I should put some of my shorts, do you think, where I'm telling people, giving people advice in my little shorts that I've been doing. Which I was kicking myself because yesterday, Kafin says there's a market for everything. Yep. Not for me on OnlyFans, I don't think. Dave says, the YouTube suggestions you're getting. Oh, okay, you're getting Captain Morgan. Share prices dive since your switch. Probably. I was trying to get sponsorship from them, but, they'll no go. Maybe the makers of Fireball, they're probably the same company. Exactly, Kafin says, Rach, I've heard that TikTok is brutal. Yeah, so have I. Like, I think I would just have to, can you ignore the comments on TikTok? Or to get anywhere with the algorithm on TikTok, do you have to reply? That might be hard. Maybe I'd need to hire, if I go on TikTok, maybe I could hire someone to answer the comments. Graham says, I keep getting notifications. People are following me on TikTok and I don't even use it. But you must have a TikTok account. I don't even have that. Dave says, also remember Siri is also listening. Yes, true. Well, Siri's not listening quite as much for me at the moment because I went to get my Apple Watch, which I left on the charger last night, and I went to pull it off and it's fallen down the back of the couch. And that was just before the show, and I kind of feel a bit, you get used to wearing a watch. I got used to not wearing a watch for a long time because I didn't need it with my phone. But then when I got my Apple Watch, got quite used to wearing it now. And now I have to get down behind the couch and find it, which is disaster. So I hope it didn't fall down there before it charged. I hope it's fully charged when I find it, because that will annoy me. Yeah, because I've just gotten used to when I need to know at the time, especially when there's a live stream coming up. How long have I got to put my lipstick on and, have a look at that? Because it takes a bit of an effort to put this makeup on in the morning, let me tell you. Put these hair rollers in my hair. It's a lot of hard work, boys and girls. So, yeah, so today today's my media day. So there will not be very much eBay work done other than the absolute necessities, which will be. So I do go, even when I'm spending my media day making videos and such, because I'm all like this. So, while I'm like this, it's a good time to do some stuff. Yes, while I'm like this, so I do still go into eBay and check any offers that I've got that I can send out offers and see if there are any offers anyone sent to me that I can accept. And the same on Depop. I do go in there and check and see if anyone sent me on offers that I can accept and then they don't pay. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it this morning. Everyone have a really good productive day. I'm going to be making a few shorts that I've been doing, that little series production shorts. I mean, look, they're not doing brilliantly, but they're a bit of fun. And I'm also going to be working on some of my kids' books today. And then with a little bit of time left over, I will be working on my next history story, which, look, I did put the last one out early. It wasn't supposed to come out till the weekend, but, some people, Rach, was a bit excited about it, so I did put it out on the Thursday, but this one will not be coming out until the weekend because I've got a bit of fine-tuning to do about my great-great-grandfather who came from America, and he was a Navy sailor. I suppose he would be if he was in the Navy, wouldn't he? And he jumped ship in the 1860s. 1860s, I think. Here, when the gold rush started, to be part of the gold rush. And had quite an eventful life. And, quite an interesting story. Bye, Graham. Bye, all. I hope, everyone have a really productive day. And I will see you this time next week with some more exciting eBay reseller news. I shouldn't say eBay news, with some more exciting reseller news. Bye now.